Good evening and welcome to the Papillion-La Vista Community Schools Board of Education. We start tonight's agenda with a hearing to amend the 2024 budget. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mather?
Here.
Ms. Witt?
Here.
Ms. Wood?
Here.
Mr. Bailey?
Here.
I make a motion that we excuse board members Elizabeth Butler and Brian Lotus from this evening's board meeting.
I'll second it.
Thank you. I have a motion by Ms. Wood and a second by Mr. Bailey. Roll call, please.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Madler?
Yes.
Thank you. I think we begin with Mr. Richards for our budget.
Thank you, Ms. Witt. Tonight, we are looking to amend one of our budget funds, the Special Building Fund. Each year, as you know, we pass a budget back in September that includes 8 different budget funds. A lot of them, we estimate the amount of expenditures we'll need throughout the fiscal year. The Special Building is one of those funds that we do estimate on our expenditures. We use the Special Building Fund for all of our bond construction projects. The Special Building Fund back in September, when we did our original budget, was underestimated on how much we'd spend between September 1st, 24 and August 31st, 2025. Also contributing to this is the need to increase the budget in this fund is an accelerated construction schedule that is ahead of schedule as well. So we have 12 projects going on right now. We did enlist the help of BCDM, our architects, to kind of look at our expenditures for the rest of the summer here through August 31st. And we thought adding to the budget and getting to $68,058,561 for the 2024-25 fiscal year would cover any additional spending we'd need through August 31st. This gives us the budget authority to spend up to that amount until August 31st, where our 2025-26 budget will then go into effect. I want to emphasize that in this budget fund, we're not asking for any additional taxes than already have been approved by the voters in 2023 and the board back in September for the Special Building Fund. Next steps after this, tonight, we would bring it back for the June 23rd board meeting for action. So I would entertain any questions. I know there's a hearing tonight for anybody in the public if they wants to speak.
Thank you. In case you didn't notice, the Nebraska Open Meetings Law is posted at the entrance to the room. Are there any public comments regarding the hearing tonight? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing at 6:03. Our next agenda item is on our regular night agenda, starting with communications. Recognition.
Thank you very much, Ms. Witt, members of the board. And for all of our guests that are in attendance this evening, thank you for being here and representing our community. One of the things that we do around here that I think is pretty special is at least once a month we try to do recognitions. These recognitions single out most commonly staff and students. Sometimes it's academic, sometimes it's athletics, sometimes it's other things. We have a mix of all of the above this evening. More on that in just a little bit. The first 3 recognitions, however, are student groups, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But just so you kind of know what to expect in case we have anybody that wants to take pictures, and we would certainly invite that, is after each of the 3 recognitions, we'll pause. You'll be recognized by your Board of Education. If you want to come down, we can do pictures. Our communications office will take some official pictures for our social media channels, but if we have moms, dads, randos off the street that just love taking pictures, come on down, come one, come all. We just love to celebrate our students and their outstanding things that they do. So without further ado, we have 3 track-related recognitions. First of all, from Papillion-La Vista High School, we have a Monarch in attendance, ladies and gentlemen. Head coach Abby, thank you for being here, and thank you for your expert tutelage. We would expect you to come down. Under Coach Abby's leadership, we had Alexis Chaddock, who is a junior that took state in the highly competitive girls 800 meters. Alexis, please come down and be recognized by your Board of Education. Congratulations again, Alexis. Certainly no pressure, but since she's just a junior, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we'll be seeing Alexis back here a year from now. Next up, we have a relay team, and I know I saw Coach Johansson. I think I saw Coach Hazelhorst, maybe some other coaches from South. I saw those two for sure. But we have a relay team from Papillion La Vista South. We have the 3,200-meter team, which means you run 4 800s. We have a mix of both underclassmen and underclassmen. Once I've read the total list of names, please come down and be recognized, ladies. We have Ashlyn Carter, sophomore. We have Elizabeth Heisler, junior, Grace Hovey, senior, just recently graduated, and Marissa Garcia, also a senior, recently graduated. Coaches, ladies, come on down and be recognized by your Board of Education. Yeah, I think a couple of them might be sticking around because the final student recognition of the evening, Papillion La Vista South, for the second time in the last 3 years, we had to check this to make sure. I think we were maybe edged by Westside in one of those years. Second out of the last 3 years, we have won state in Class A. That is a huge accomplishment, ladies and gentlemen, in a completely loaded and competitive Class A field. To take state in Class A is no small accomplishment. Ladies, please come down and be recognized by your Board of Education. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. So for all of our ladies, thank you for being here. Coaches, thank you for being here. And of course, I didn't recognize the Chief Monarch. Thank you, Jason and Ryan, for showing up to support the Monarch Nation. Much appreciated. Breaking just a little bit from tradition, we did have two other individuals that weren't on the list. First off, NSPRA is an organization that the board has probably heard me mention a number of times, National School Public Relations Association. Every single year about this time, we submit as a school district a number of entries to the national NSPRA competition. They have a slug of different award categories, but we received some outstanding recognition for Dr. Villarreal and his team. Just very quickly, we received the very highest award that NSPRA gives out is the Excellence Award. We received 7 of those. And then we also received additional recognition in some other categories. But I think just for the public and the board's benefit, the 7 categories that we received excellence awards in, again, highest you can receive. Number 1, brand image package for elementary brand evolution, some of the things we've done with colors, logos, updating our look. The annual report, that Greatness Update magazine that was sent out. The financial publication, which shows our budget infographics. The podcast, which is about to enter, I believe, season 2. Social media for the Best Be Part of Something Big campaign. Special purpose publication for human resources. And finally, the video series for the Superintendent Spotlight, where we go out and surprise employees with recognition for something that they've done. 7 excellence awards, all for the same department. That's absolutely outstanding. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Villarreal and his team, please, ladies and gentlemen? And last but by no means least, I don't know that we've ever done one of these before, but it absolutely begs recognition. We usually focus on our staff or our students, and that's always great fun. But tonight, we're going to focus on one of my bosses, a man who needs no introduction, Lieutenant Colonel Skip Bailey. I knew he would poo-poo it, which is specifically why Ms. Witt and I didn't put it on the agenda, because we knew he would give us grief, so we're going to do it anyway. So Colonel Bailey, a longtime member of the board, longtime member of the community, his wife teaches for the district, his kids graduated from here, gave at least 25 years, I believe, to the United States Air Force, where he left as an 05 as a lieutenant colonel. Piloted a number of aircraft, as I recall. I believe the E-4 was your last assignment, Colonel? So since leaving 25 years of service to the United States Air Force, he was recently named the 2025 National Coach of the Year at the 2025 SafeCon National Intercollegiate Flying Association. He's been leading the Flying Mavs with honor and distinction. I know that the colonel, based on a conversation I had, didn't do quite as well at this last competition, which means he only got his team in the top 10, which, given it's a national competition, that is a pretty lofty goal. Did you see what I did there, Miss Witt? You saw what I did there with them? So without further ado, could we please provide some recognition for Lieutenant Colonel Bailey and his outstanding accomplishments for being named the National Coach of the Year? Well done, Colonel. I'm sure I'll pay for that in some future life, some future way, but we are awfully proud of you and your family, Skip.
Speech.
And with that, Ms. Witt, I'd conclude our recognitions for the evening.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the award recipients tonight, and especially to our own Skip Bailey. Thank you. Our next agenda items reports. Dr. Rickley, Superintendent Report.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Witt, members of the board. So happy summer to everyone. It is amazing how quickly the school year went, and I have no doubt that the school year will go by even more quickly. We launched right into summer school. At last count, we have approximately 300 students combined at the two high schools for summer school. I believe we're just shy of 400 students at our elementary summer school. So we're getting it done. I know that for some of our students, that's not high on their list of priorities, is showing up for summer school, but we're awfully proud and grateful for the families, the kids, and the staff that pitch in to make summer school successful. We also welcome back our curriculum development toolbox teams. If you visited this building in the first several days after kids were dismissed, you're going to see a lot of activity around here. These rooms were packed with teachers, with district office, with building administrators continuing to lead the teaching and learning process. It's pretty staggering. It never stops around here, which is all part of the fun. You'll hear more from Senator Gay here in just a little bit, but we welcomed the conclusion of a long legislative session. 90 days became 89 days. They cut the session short one day. Again, I don't want to steal any of Tim and Brett's thunder, but from my vantage point, it was one of the most successful legislative sessions we've had in a really long time, in spite of some really difficult circumstances at the state level. We all know that the budget deficit they faced, they closed a big part of it, but there's still some heavy lifting to do. More on that in a little bit. One of the things that we'll be shifting our focus to later this summer, in fact, later this month, is strategic planning. Ms. Siri and her teaching and learning team have done some incredible work preparing for next week's strategic planning community meeting. We have two board members, I believe Ms. Witt and I believe Ms. Wood, are participating in the long-term planning efforts for the district. We've had other board members participate in the past. I think we have 35 members. We have students, we have business leaders, we have teachers, we have building administrators. We have a really good mix of people. So really excited to see what that next iteration of the strategic plan looks like. Also wanted to remind the board that we have our annual Swing for the Kids golf event tomorrow, so good luck to all of our golfers. And one last recognition before I close my superintendent report. I've been sharing with the board for the last several months that we have been in negotiations with the city of Papillion, specifically Papillion Police Department, to add another layer of law enforcement to the school district. One of the things Chief Whitted has been pushing for a really long time is an SRO supervisor. We think that this individual can bring a ton of knowledge and expertise to the school district in the area of safety planning, in the area of providing coverage when frontline officers are out, and providing general consultation and liaison work with the other jurisdictions that we deal with. And I'm pleased to announce that our own Sergeant Kurt McClannon, who's in the back of the room, has been selected. Sergeant McClannon has just got a wealth of experiences. I think when Dr. V and I sat down and met with the command staff at Papillion Police Department, I was pretty blown away. Sergeant McClannon's a guy that has got an undergrad degree, he's got a master's degree, served in the United States Marine Corps. I'm told he's a really nifty diesel mechanic, so if you have any work that needs to be done, I think Sergeant McClannon's your man. He's just got a wealth of experiences in training and safety and crisis that I know are going to benefit Papillion Police Department as well as this school district. So, Sergeant, we're truly grateful that you agreed to join the family. We know you're going to do great things for us and just really appreciate your service. So could we give Sergeant McClannon a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen? And with that, Ms. Witt, I would conclude my superintendent comments for the evening.
Ooh-yah. Welcome.
Oh, well done.
On to board member reports. I have something. I attended it's been a long time since our last meeting. This was on May 15th, I believe, was the graduation for the kids from Ideal. There were 48 total grads, and it was a wonderful ceremony, lots of enthusiasm, lots of hugs. 28 kids were able to walk across the stage, and it was a happy day.
It was a
Happy day. I also attended the Papillion La Vista Community Schools Annual Safety Meeting. There were 21 present. They represented our building administrators, schools, principals, fire, rescue, sheriffs. All jurisdictions were here participating. We reviewed the incident management structure, threat assessments, protocols for emergency responses, reunification, and the emergency procedure guides and formatting the flip charts that you see in the buildings and things like that. So it was a really good meeting, short and sweet. Anybody else have anything to report? No? All right. Next on to committee reports, Building, Grounds, and Finance.
We did meet on May 23rd. We discussed the proposed amended budget due to the accelerated construction projects that we already discussed in the budget hearing. We also started to have the conversations on the new elementary schools, colors and names, and I know those conversations were going to be had with the other subcommittees as well, so more of that will pop up in future board meetings.
Thank you. Human Resource, Student Services.
We have a meeting coming up next Thursday, I believe.
Thank you. And Curriculum and Americanism.
Yes, we have a meeting next Monday, and I think you already covered the meeting they had before that I missed, so yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. We have no public comment for items on the agenda. Action items, action by consent.
I'll make a motion to approve the action by consent items as listed.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Mr. Mattis. I just want to make sure that people are aware that the 4,000 policy were discussed at our last meeting. There were no changes, so we're going to put them on through the consent agenda. Roll call?
Ms. Wood,
Yes.
Mr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Madler,
Yes.
Ms. Witt.
Yes. Our next item for action is the 2025 student Chromebook case purchase. Ms. Siri and Mr. Moore.
Good evening. So yeah, you can see in your board packet, I've got the board summary for the approval of the student Chromebook case purchase. This is for a portion of that fleet that we bought, that we discussed and approved back in April. So we bought the 3,400 Chromebooks. This would be for 1,000 of them for the freshmen. And then we're looking at different cycles and stuff for the lower grade levels. So yeah, this is for the Chromebook freshman level cases.
I recall you mentioned that that was already bid, and you just had to make that decision, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, thank you. Any other discussion for Mr. Moore? I need a motion then.
I'll make the motion to approve entering into a purchase agreement with CDWG respectively as presented for the total purchase cost to PLCS of $21,470.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Madler and a second by Mr. Bailey. Roll call?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Madler?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
On to discussion items, legislative updates with Mr. Gay from Catalyst Public Affairs.
Welcome, Tim.
Well, sorry I missed you in April, because it's crazy. Just the agenda is, so anyway, then congratulations on a good school year. Sounds like graduations went well. It's exciting about the track team. I did not know that they were so good. But anyway, interesting year. Just one thing, part of the reason we couldn't make it, the agenda you don't get till the night before, you know, and then this year they had 24 late nights where they worked until 9 o'clock or later. So it is an interesting year. This is that long session, you know, that you get, and I can't believe today when I was driving here, it's already setting up for Papillion Days and College World Series, but whatever. So anyway, we saved one day, 89 days. But, you know, earlier we talked about the number of bills every year they keep going up, even though we had many new senators this year, 16 new senators. Of those, 715, 179 bills passed. I would say probably a little more than that because fewer amended into other bills. What we followed for you, the 75 Education Committee bills, only 8 committee bills kind of got out. It was kind of, quite honestly, it was a pretty slow year for education, which is a good thing. That's why I think Dr. Wrigley said we had a good year. So that's true. But anyway, we're looking, kind of when we look ahead next year, it's going to be that shorter session. All the bills that are there this year are carried forward. Anything else can be introduced. So we'll see, you know, if somebody wants to try a bill that didn't get through and they keep pushing it, that will happen. Two people will be done. Next year will be their last year. The chairman, Senator Merman, who is elected chairman again this year over Senator Hughes. She'll probably be the next chair, I'm assuming. She's up for election, but she should win. And then Senator Hunt is term limited. And you can see Conrad and Hughes are up for election. They're both good members. I don't know, they should win election if they run. Some of the things we're waiting around for were these two bills, 303 and 306, just took forever to get on the agenda. They were on the agenda, then they get passed over, whatever. Part of that I will get into is more politics than policy on that. But so this, what they call, when they say it's a committee bill, it's kind of a cleanup bill where we get non-controversial things hopefully in there that need to be done this year or can clarify something or whatever the case would be. So they go everywhere from the state colleges, scholarships, you can see just different things that are going around. So that was the bill that was introduced. Now that seems pretty simple, but there are a lot of things in that bill that got taken out. And on these bills, Dr. Wrigley, I think you send these out to them. If you click on the bills, you can see them all in the process. I don't want to go through them all tonight because it'd take a while, but when you just click and hit control and it'll bring up the bill and you'll go right to the bills. The second one though, and I'll get a little more into these, LB 303 was that Hughes bill. There's going to be a lot of different things in there with financing, but in April, of course, they found out, oh boy, they had two big whammies. One was Medicaid. They overlooked $289 million on Medicaid oversight, which I know that sounds crazy, but with the amount of money you spend on Medicaid, it can happen. So they did that, and then when they came in about April with the forecast again, they were down $290 million. So they had a big, huge budget hole to fill. So 303 was supposed to be a finance bill. It ended up being the School Financing Review Commission, and I'll talk about that right now. What it is, they've been talking about, everyone complains about TIOSAs, we need to look at it, So they're creating a commission to evaluate the program And this has been done a few times, but I think it's probably been 10 years at least before, and with term limits and new governor, fairly new governor, let's say, and new senators, it's probably important they're doing it. So the commission, as you can see, I won't go into all of them, who it's made up, State Education Commissioner and others, the superintendents, they're gonna try to hash it out. I don't know how it all works, how they're gonna work this out. We do know a good candidate who we'd like to get on that. Your Dr. Rickley would be excellent on this, I think. So hopefully that will happen. We will see what happens. The governor appoints these, and there's input, and I know we've had discussions, and we'll see what happens. But that's a big thing. I don't know, if it's an ongoing thing and what they can get done. These were passed as well. That's wrong. It was Sanders' bill at the request of the governor, so we put Senator Hughes by accident. But LB 140, as you know, is electronic communication devices. That passed early in the year. You have to have a policy. It just makes everyone have a policy. And I don't want to get too much into that, but you guys know your own policy. You already had one. And so this just makes everyone else do what you were already kind of doing. I don't think it was overly ambitious. That's going to get you trouble, probably keep you out of trouble, because you can say, hey, we have to do this and that. Senator Roundtree had a bill. He's a new senator out of Bellevue, a good man, who this is their individual education plans. If you're in the military, you get into this school. I don't think there was ever a problem on this. It just pretty much, because you always take the kids, it's never been a problem in Bellevue or Papillion or anywhere, but I think he just wanted to put it in the law. But they get first shot at getting into this school, a military family that comes in. And Senator Arch's 296, that one's been going for a long time. It's a rather boring bill, but it's an important bill. It's anyone who's in the juvenile system, when they go from school to school and parent to parent, and it's just, no one really keeps track. I mean, you try to keep track and this and that. So they're gonna create a database where you can follow the foster care's education or that child in that school. Maybe they were only in that for a couple of years, but so you can accumulate all their different grades and classes and all that, don't get lost. So right now it sounds like it's just a mess trying to get it. Speaker Arch has been working on this bill for 3 years, finally got it done. Like I say, sometimes the boring bills are really good, but they take a long time. But this is a really good bill that he got done. And I would say next year also is Speaker Arch's last year, so we're gonna lose a good friend there. 390, parent guardian to get, this is, it's May, I think. Brian, was this, or Brett, was this May on the school board, access to the parent or guardians? I'm not sure, but either way, it's not as bad as it started out. So they'll get the parents and the guardians involved in what you're doing. You're already doing that. It makes it that they can, a lot of schools aren't, but they can access what you're going to look at, read, these kind of things. So it is a requirement, yeah. Yeah, I think, but it's not as bad as it started out to be, those two bills. So there are several. They've been watered down some, but
In our app, just to interject, Tim, going back to 390, and Shreen and Mr. Moore can keep me honest here, but most of the functionality is already covered by our app, which already tells parents which books have been checked out. I think we need to look at if there's a push notification.
It's actually all covered now. We've already fixed it.
Well, look at you, see? Well done, thank you.
yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these bills, you already do a lot of these things. It's just, it makes everyone else do it, and these mandates they keep doing, but you're kind of ahead of the curve on these. The anaphylaxis, that's a requirement. You're probably already doing that too. But for EpiPens that are around the school. Interim studies take place. These can actually be a hearing on it, or just we're gonna do some research into it and turn it over, and officially here's a paper. They can mean something or they can't mean anything, depends on how much work you put into them. But Sarah Kauth, she's a newer senator. She's got a couple of here that are of interest, trying to get more teachers in. Senator Dorn, again, on the TO side, I don't understand that, why he's doing that when they're gonna create this committee, but whatever. Kauth on truancy, that's been studied a lot. over the years. And then Lanowski, allowing retired teachers to return to the school to teach. That's been looked at a lot too. So who knows what they're gonna get going on these, and how much they're gonna look into them. It was pretty slow on the interim study end of things this year. But carryover things would be watching would be, Sarah Conrad got a lot of pushback early in the session on LB 31, on student surveillance monitoring and tracking. There's just a lot of people, I don't know whether it was her or the bill or just a lot of different things. It didn't really go anywhere, and they pretty much stalled it. A lot of pushback on that from the more conservative members on any kind of thing, like why does it, why are you doing this? It's the kids it's fine right now, I guess. So Superintendent Pay Transparency Act, that was that got on there. That's kind of a silly one they put on there. That got kicked out of a bill. So these are the ones that were in that earlier bill, 306. And a good bill, good or bad, whatever, is LB 440. So Senator Spivey, a brand new senator, introduced a bill, that Education Leave and Support Act, where they're going to take the money and you'd participate, the teacher would participate to get paid family leave. Okay, that's how they were going to fund it. So she worked to get this going. She's on the Appropriations Committee, not the Education Committee. That put a lot of time in it. I know, NSCA was involved in it. All the different groups were trying to work with her on this thing. But what they did, they threw it into a bad bill. So let's take a good bill, throw it into, so I could pass my junk and garbage in another bill, and it just didn't fly, which is probably a good thing. I feel bad for her. But like I say, all the work she put into that, she couldn't help that she got put in that committee bill. Well, the committee bill also had the time off for religious studies and this and that. I think 3 other things were yanked out of that bill. So, whatever, we'll see what happens if that comes back, how the financial situation looks, who knows. But hey, that was a big part of why 306 just got butchered. And that was towards the end. So even if I would have been here in April, we wouldn't have known these last 2 bills because they were towards the very end. And so that's the way it kind of works. The last one, a carryover that might be something, Merman again is the chairman, option enrollment and some of those things, and this Education Future Fund, how they're going to use it. Senator Merman seems to get some very conservative bills again and again and again, and they have a group of about 5 senators that keep introducing super conservative bills that are going to go or not go. Any questions on this legislature? Because I want to get into what I think might happen next year, that you got next few years, which I think you all know anyway. But any questions on these bills, or did I forget anything, Marcus? I know you're on so.
I had one quick question.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the study for the TIOSA, and you listed all those people, and it said something about 5 members of the general public. Do you have any idea how that's, is that going to be somebody they're trying to?
5 members of the general public. I don't know.
I didn't know if that was a way to be able to
put.
put.
This thing passed 49-0. There wasn't a ton of discussion on it.
Okay.
Who could that be? Or there wasn't any fight on it. Everyone's like, let's do it. So I don't know who those 5 would be. Probably business people from.
Okay.
It'll be scattered.
I didn't know if it was an opportunity for somebody to say, I really want this person to try to sway that one way or another. That's why I was kind of asking
I
if
don't
that.
know. I'd be guessing.
If you'd heard
if I told
anything.
you. But
Okay.
if anyone's interested, on that, you're on the school board. I don't think it'd be quite a citizen because you'd have a.
Oh, no, I was just wondering
Yeah.
if you had any
I
idea
don't
who they
know,
were
but
looking
as
at.
they get going on it, we'll pay attention at that point. I just saw the governor today actually at an event and brought up a good candidate, so I think we'll see
That's
what
good.
happens.
Yep.
But
And typically on those, they have all those commission and board openings on the governor's website, and you can go and look to see what is currently open and the criteria for each seat that is open, and you can apply for it if anyone is interested.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
interested. I was just wondering if you had any idea how.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's good.
Sherry would be good on it. Yeah.
This plate's full anyway. It's, yeah. But I guess one thing that really we need to pay attention to, or you'll need to pay attention to, is on the budget. With 25% of the state budget going to these tax relief programs. It's one, the big school tax is the biggest of it. And they keep, each time they're doing any bill, they keep saying, well, the funds like gaming, for legalizing gambling, the money will go to the property tax fund, property tax relief fund. 25% of their budget is going to those funds. That is not sustainable at all. So I don't know what they're gonna do or how they're gonna do it, but that's the main thing. They're going in with $1 billion shortfall on the next biennium, and even this year, there's talk about a special session on money. So when they're paying other people's bills on property, you know, just, I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting how that's gonna shake out, and I assume that's why they're looking at the TIOSA thing, and they better do it quick, is all I'm saying, because that's just not sustainable. So we're gonna look at that. You're gonna continue to see some of these bills that didn't get passed this year on time away from school to do other things. There's other things that are popping up around the country, I think, of those. So a lot of the same old stuff is gonna be coming back, but the number one thing is that budget. I mean, you've been saying it for years anyway. You know how it is. They're not the most reliable partner, but they were rolling in the dough before, and now they aren't. And, you know, how does that work? So we shall see, and that's gonna be the big question that everyone's gonna have to answer to. So other than that, that's over the summer, like I say, hopefully we get a couple months where there won't be anything going on, and these people will just relax a little bit. We won't have a special session and go from there. So, Dr. Rickley, that's it. So, all right.
On those carryover bills, I think I asked this at the end of every session, or any of the long sessions. Those carryovers have to start over again, right? They have to go through hearing again,
No.
or they start where they left off.
Nope, they can go right where they left off. So one of the bills we'll be watching is a tort reform. So school, there's, you know, how easy can it be to sue the school? That bill didn't get out of the Judiciary Committee, but we keep a close eye on that for your long-term, you know, finances. That will be, it's had its hearing, it's had whatever, and it's just sitting there. It could be kicked out of committee anytime. So if you're on select file even, it could come back on select file early. You just have to get to the speaker and say, hey, I want my bill to come up. And so some of these close ones, and again, they'll start debating right away. They'll hold, so let's say 500 bills are introduced next year. They'll have those daily hearings and all that. But in the morning, they will be having legislative on the floor passing bills, which is the scariest part of all, quite honestly. Because now, like, well, we need to do something, but, so they'll start that first 10 days, even though it's 60 days. You could be dealing with some pretty heavy stuff pretty quick.
Gotcha.
And this is where the speaker comes in. He doesn't have to schedule those things, you know, but he's Speaker Arch is definitely make them work kind of guy. Like I said, 24 nights of late nights that's the most I've ever seen in a long time, so.
And you talked through a handful of them, but while being around the senators and understanding the bills, anything that you feel like we need to try to get ahead of before the next session, especially if they can start advancing some of these real early on, maybe try to get them under the radar before people start paying attention to the session?
Yeah, let me think on that one real quick, and I'd get with Dr. Rickley. But anytime you can chime in with a senator and tell them, I mean, you just got to be straight up with these people. That was a dumb bill, that whatever, X, Y, Z. If you remember, you don't need to remember the number.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what we want is, let's say I introduced a bill. It's not the best bill in the world, but you know what? Marcus will vote for it, and, you know, Sue Ann will vote for it because we're working together. We all like each other. That's what's happening a lot. It's like they don't really take a look. The superintendents came in and the finance people came in this year very heavy, saying these are bad bills, and that helped a lot. Not that we didn't do it before in the past, but the timing was better this year, I think, where they came in and said, hey, this is what it's going to be. So Brett and Andrew would send in key emails at the right time that they would read, and I think that's, so some of it's timing, but I think if you're a school board member, if anytime you talk to them and say, hey, here's the situation. Ours are pretty good. Sarah Roundtree's been really good. Yeah, I wish I had the answer for that. I mean, we struggle all the time with, we told you 10 times about this bill, you still voted for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And then,
I'll be pretty surprised, Mr. Madler, I hope I didn't cut you off. I think the one bill in particular that Tim highlighted, LB 653, which deals with a number of special education issues, including option enrollment and prioritizing students with disabilities. I think they ran out of time on that one. There was some debate late in the session. I think the body, there were mixed feelings about whether it should go or not. And again, since they didn't have enough time to fully debate the bill, that would be one in particular that I'd be pretty surprised if it didn't get a robust
that's a good one to-
conversation next
it's a
time.
good one to point out because it's dealing with a subject matter that's very difficult. Everyone wants to take care of everyone, you know what I mean? But you also have a limited number of teachers and this and that. So, but I thought you did a good job sending those out, though. So we sent to our delegation of senators, and especially the ones on the education committee, like, here's why that's not great for us. Not like we're not trying, but we're already packed on this. We can't get more teachers. We get, you know, whatever. They look at the theories like, oh, wouldn't that be great? Well, it would if you could hire people, if you could do a lot of things. Because just remember 2 years ago when they were saying, well, we got to keep the teachers around, we got to pay them more, we got to do this, that, and everything else. Not one word of that this year. Not one word. So again, it's like when they're flying high with the money, let's do a lot of things, and now they're going to be broke. So yeah, that's what we got to think about. And you'll hear rumors from your associations and things like that, Colby Coash and some of those people. They'll know probably. You know, they'll be talking to people all summer too. But guessing game. So.
and then I know we spend it's most of the time looking at the introduced bills, right, and how they're progressing and how we can, even if they're going in a direction we don't like, maybe how we can make them at least less bad at times. And this is more for administration, and I guess for us school board members too. Is there anything that we want to work on as far as on the, trying to get introduced? Like, are there any areas for, potential legislation that we can work with state senators to get introduced and have an opportunity to get passed? I mean, now is the time to think about that because we have till January. But obviously you'd like to have, if we come up with some of those ideas, we're going to start having the conversations with hopefully a senator, some senators well before then.
That's a good point. I mean, because so much time we're on defense.
Yeah.
95% of the time it's defense. Don't do this to us. But yeah, if there's some good ideas, whatever, absolutely you can introduce bills. And if you're going to do that, best time to do it is now in the summer when it's pretty slow. Finding the right person to do it. I hate to say this, but when you look over who passed bills this year and who didn't, it's all people with an R behind their name, and it's just a fact of life on anything that was major. So who you want to introduce that bill and who you can convince to get it in is super important. So if you're going to do that, do it in the summer.
Yeah, because we have a lot of great relationships around, everyone around the table with some of the
Yeah.
senators too, from our district and other districts as well. that
Yeah,
can,
and then also, I mean, again, this politics never ends, right? In 2026, which is, I'm trying not to think that far ahead, right? But you're going to have Arch gone, so there's two good people running here in Papillion already. There might be more, I don't know, but two quality candidates. We've always had pretty good senators, coming from here. So there might be two or a couple more in there, I don't know. But the two I've met with are really good quality people. So I think we're in good shape there. But yeah, it's just, there's just so many things going on. And it is sad that we have to do the fight against a lot of things, though, too. Yeah. But let me think of some. I'll see you tomorrow, I think, because I think there are some that we could get fixed. So, sorry for the long report, but a lot of things going on.
Good report.
I would just add on, the ones that were passed, we're taking that as a cabinet and kind of looking through all the policy recommendations coming from our law firm KSB, from NCSA, and we'll be bringing that information to the board subcommittees here over the summer. So if you're wondering if there's going to be any policy changes, there always is, so we'll bring those to you as early as probably June here.
Yep. All right, thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Appreciate it. See you tomorrow. It's good.
Our next discussion item is the 2025 student iPad purchase for elementary refresh. Mr. Moore again and Ms. Siri.
Yes, I'm back. So yeah, this is a discussion item for the 2025 student devices, the iPads in particular. It's kind of the second part of that refresh for our tech cycle. So just wanted to bring it up and see if you guys had any questions for me.
So the iPads, are those basically kindergarten through third grade, or what, kindergarten through second? What,
Kindergarten through second is our plan right now. I don't know if you want to.
pre-K probably, maybe?
Yeah.
It's part of our tech audit. So they will be accessible at the third grade level, but in the actual ratio identified by the technology audit, it would be earmarked for K2.
Mr. Moore, are you seeing anything? We've much talked about tariff situation, and some tariffs have been rolled back.
Not right now.
and
Yeah, Apple
so-
hasn't said anything.
So no real changes in
Yeah,
this?
no real changes. Cases for the iPads are a little iffy as far as getting them, but the price range is so similar in all the cases, I don't see us having an issue.
And I know the agenda item is iPads and not Chromebooks, but are we seeing any change in Chromebook prices?
I haven't looked lately, but yeah, that's a good question.
Something just for us to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I know it's
Yep,
something you
for
and your
sure.
team watch very closely.
There is a lot of talk about tariffs right now, so, yeah.
The first round of Chromebooks that we purchased were actually stateside and arrived super early because
Yeah.
they tried to house them as many as they could to try to keep the cost down. I think they arrived in 3 days,
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
We thought we had 3
Quickest we've
weeks.
ever had them, yeah. I
but
thought it was gonna be weeks, and yeah, within a couple days, they're like, they're here. Okay.
a few pallets we had
Then
to
we had to
figure out.
scramble for storage, but otherwise, yeah, it was good. So yeah, I think they were anticipating, tried to stock up their warehouses with inventory, so it worked for them.
Great, thank you. We'll
Yeah,
keep a good
thank you.
thought. Last discussion item is review of policy 6000. Ms. Siri?
Yep, so this is just our typical time of year where we begin to reflect and evaluate our current 6000 series. So I have made a folder in the drive, and I'll be sending out that link to those of you that are not on my subcommittee. My subcommittee has already received that link, but you can start to make suggestions and recommendations there. And I'll also start to place recommended changes from KSB and NCSA that Brett mentioned. There's several that were impacted by changes in the legislation this year. So we'll have a subcommittee meeting and we'll start that process of evaluation of those policies. This is the students series for academic achievement.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Siri? We have no public comment for items not on the agenda tonight. Future board calendar. On June 10th, we have the Foundation Swing for Kids. I think that's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
And on June 23rd, we have our next Board of Education meeting here at 6 p.m. I want to thank Ms. Stephanie, this is her first night as flying solo. And Matt, thank you for your support as well. Seeing no further business, we will adjourn at 6:49.